Millions of years ago, dinosaurs were the dominant life forms on Earth. Even after their extinction, dinosaurs have captured our imagination just by their fossil remains. In addition, dinosaurs have been presented in movies since the early days of cinema. The reason why dinosaur movies were so rare for the longest time was because they were too expensive to make and not very practical to show such creatures on the big screen. Luckily for author Michael Crichton, his novel would become possible due to the invention in the 1990s called CGI. With that, Jurassic Park was brought to life to the big screen and has spawned several sequels. So, be ready to be amazed and scared at the same time, because it's time to review the Jurassic Park movies. The plot to Jurassic Park mainly centers around two paleontologists played by Sam Neill and Laura Dern, who are invited to a new theme park by a wealthy man who owns it. To the couple's surprise, there are real-life dinosaurs on the park made possible through the DNA of a fossilized mosquito. Everything seems to go well until a greedy employee, played by Wayne Knight, sabotages the security system and all hell breaks loose. Jurassic Park may have been made over 20 years ago, but it showcases some of the best special effects in any movie. The reason why is that they use animatronics while being very conservative with CGI. That's why many dinosaur movies look so fake nowadays, because CGI is overused. One character that I haven't mentioned yet is Jeff Goldblum's character. He starts off as being a wisecracker.
What do they got in there, King Kong? That is one big pile of shit.
But through time, he becomes the voice of reason.
The kind of control you're attempting is, it's not possible. Listen, if there's one thing the history of evolution has taught us, it's that life will not be contained. Life breaks free, it expands to new territories, and it crashes through barriers painfully, maybe even dangerously, but life, finds a way.
Another character I like is the owner of Jurassic Park, who is Mr. Hammond, played by the late Richard Attenborough. I appreciate that he's not the cliched greedy businessman that we see way too often now. All he wanted to do was open a cool theme park for everyone to enjoy, and he had the best intentions going into it. Even when everything's going wrong, he tries to look on the brighter side of things.
This is just a delay. That's all it is. All major theme parks had delays. When they opened Disneyland in 1956, nothing worked.
Yeah, but John, if the Pirates of the Caribbean breaks down, the pirates don't eat the tourists.
But the one character that steals the show is the T-Rex. The T-Rex from Jurassic Park is honestly one of the most realistic CGI characters of all time. Seeing the T-Rex for the first time is easily one of the best entrances that any character has made in any movie ever. But below the effects of Jurassic Park, it does have a good message about the hubris of mankind trying to play God. With all the praise I've given this movie, you're probably wondering what's wrong with it. Well, there are a few. The minor complaint that I have is that not all the effects have aged gracefully as the T-Rex. The major one is this scene. That's right, there is a cartoonish sound effect in Jurassic Park. Also, how did this dinosaur get in this Jeep? He only opened the door on one side, and it's the same door in which he returned. In general, Jurassic Park is a movie that's better than I remembered when I first watched it as a kid. It has spectacle, wonder, and suspense in spades, and it's easily one of the best movies of the 90s. I give Jurassic Park 3.5 stars out of 4. Well, like many successful movies, it got a sequel called The Lost World: Jurassic Park. Personally, shouldn't it be called Jurassic Park II: The Lost World? In addition, it has no relation to the movie The Lost World whatsoever, which both are ironically about people going to an island filled with dinosaurs and then bringing back a dinosaur that rampages across the city. Dr. Malcolm is summoned by Mr. Hammond to lead an expedition to another island that Mr. Hammond grew dinosaurs on. However, his team comes across another group of people who are hunting dinosaurs. I think most people agree that not only is The Lost World a step down from Jurassic Park, but it's kind of a bore. Even when there are exciting scenes, they are done in some of the most dumb ways possible. For example, this has to be the most convenient escape route that I've seen in any movie. Then there's this scene that I've always found stupid and contrived. One actor that you might recognize is Vince Vaughn during the part of his career where he's trying to be more of a serious actor that never really worked out for him. Even outside of being miscast, his character is a real douchebag for taking away the ammo of the people that helped him get off the island. Speaking of characters, the children in this movie react to dinosaurs in no way that a child would in real life. I mean, seriously kid, you have a T-Rex outside your window, don't act like it's a pigeon. The one part of the movie that is really worth watching is when the T-Rex goes on a rampage across San Diego. But, overall, this is easily one of the most disappointing sequels ever made, especially with the fact that Steven Spielberg returned to direct it. But then again, this wouldn't be the last time he would disappoint. Overall, The Lost World is a largely uninteresting movie that's riddled with animal rights. Sure, the effects are not half bad, but they're not as impressive as they were in the first one. I give The Lost World: Jurassic Park 2 stars out of 4. Jurassic Park 3 is sort of special to me because it was the first Jurassic Park movie I ever saw in theaters. Dr. Grant is invited by a wealthy couple to help them find their son on one of the islands that the dinosaurs are on. They search for the kid, things go bad, and they come across all kinds of dinosaurs along the way. Comparing these two together, I prefer Jurassic Park 3 because I would rather watch a movie that wasted an hour and a half of my time instead of a movie that wasted 2 hours of my time. But that doesn't mean that Jurassic Park 3 isn't free of all issues.
Alan!
One major one is the fact that Dr. Grant and Dr. Slater are not a couple. Who didn't want to see these two end up together? Apparently not the writers of this movie. What's worse is the fact that the T-Rex, which is my favorite character of the franchise by the way, is killed off by some dinosaur. I and other people on the internet will never forgive this movie for doing that. If that wasn't enough, the mom of the missing son is so damn annoying.
Ben!
Amanda, honey, Dr. Grant said that's a bad idea.
What? What's a bad idea?
Could she just get eaten by a dinosaur already? Besides my complaints, there are some mildly redeeming factors. I do think that the suspenseful scenes are done well, and the effects are pretty good too. I also love this scene because it sums up the fact that people generally only know Sam Neill from Jurassic Park and not any other movie he's in.
Does anyone have a question that does not relate to Jurassic Park?
This review might seem a little short, but it's reflective on the movie's runtime. I give Jurassic Park 3 2 stars out of 4. Several years later, Peter Jackson remade King Kong. I think we can all agree that this was more of a Jurassic Park movie than The Lost World or Jurassic Park 3. Well, many years passed after Jurassic Park 3, but that didn't stop the internet from making fake trailers and posters stating that another Jurassic Park movie was in the works. I guess because Universal Studios saw that people wanted another Jurassic Park movie, they decided to give it to them with Jurassic World. From what I've heard, Jurassic World takes place after the events of Jurassic Park, but this one is ignoring the sequels. As much as I'm for continuity, I'm glad that they're erasing these two from existence. In fact, we all have movie sequels that we all wish never even happened. Jurassic World is about the park being reopened and sales are doing well. Their scientists decide to splice the DNA of a few dinosaurs and their experiment backfires big time. The movie also centers around a scientist, played by Dallas Bryce Howard, a velociraptor wrangler, played by Chris Pratt, and two kids visiting, played by Ty Simpkins and Nick Robinson. Jurassic World is a solid movie that does a good job of reminding us of the first movie, but also being its own movie at the same time. Some people may not like it because it's nothing new, but that's what I kinda liked about it. While the sequels try to be different, this one goes back to the roots of the first one. Primarily, the God complex that the sequels didn't have. My favorite character would have to be Laurie, played by Jake Johnson. I like how he's the comedic relief, but he's also wearing an old school Jurassic Park t-shirt. I like the chemistry between Claire and Owen and how their personalities bounced off each other. The effects were good, but not as mind-blowing as they were in the first one. What I'm about to say is sort of a spoiler, so fast forward to this part if you haven't seen the movie yet. My favorite part was when the T-Rex fights the Indominus Rex and how he made an entrance by crashing through the skeleton of the Spinosaurus. Jurassic World might have some slow moments and some cliches that might bang you over the head, such as the cliche greedy businessman, but it's better than the last two, so it's reason enough to see it. I give Jurassic World 3 stars out of 4. Fun fact, even though Steven Spielberg directed Jurassic Park, he had no time to actually work on post-production, so he had his friend George Lucas work on post-production. I'm surprised that George Lucas didn't want the Velociraptors to shoot first, if you know what I mean.
Gonna come through the glass!